Joe Fidden, or as people may know him, Josh the Squill Killer.
My name is Joe Fadden.
Okay. Anyway, all
Because
right,
I find in the closet.
that's great. Shut the fuck up. So anyway, for today's episode, we're going to talk about transgender sports or getting into sports. We're going to talk about the auto pen from President Biden, which should be interesting. We're also going to talk a little local news when it comes to, unfortunately, another issue with a local priest and a local school with some porn. Uh, and we'll also talk a little bit about Pride Month after this. Welcome to Idiocracy Talk Radio.
It's idiocracy, but you gon' see the value and respect though when you talk with me. So come on, baby, walk with me. It ain't a topic that the crew can't touch. Share our views and our vibe. What we hide? It ain't much. This ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Share our thoughts and our views, you can't stop it. Said this ain't bluffs, it's the crew, yeah, we got it. Idiocracy, tell us what's the topic. Yeah.
All right. So again, I'm Dr. B. We got Matt and Josh with me, or my name is Joe Fadden. So anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about transgender sports. We're going to talk about the auto pen from President Biden, and then local free sports. So let's go ahead and start with the local news. Start with here in lovely Cincinnati area. Who wants to take off? What?
So what they're saying is at the school of visitation, there was a former NFL player who stood up in church on Sunday and questioned, I want to say one of the priests that were there, about another priest was on one of the sites that's pornography. And I guess a couple of parents got that site, or someone saw the site. It was on the computer in the school. And they're trying to get some transparency of what happened or who did it. And it's all leading back to the priest that works there, which again is not good.
Now, the guy that spoke up, it did happen in Sunday's session,
Yeah,
and they actually took him out and or I don't know if they handcuffed him, but they took him out of the church.
yeah. So
Two officers took him out.
I've got Channel 9's report on here, and I want to make sure that I say Channel 9 because, let's be honest, every news agency has a tendency to spin these differently, so I just grabbed the first one here. But it says, Westside Church parishioner escorted out of Mass after demanding answers about a priest accused of viewing porn. Question was, did the priest use our parish computer to look at pornography? A parishioner of Our Lady of Visitation asked the Archdiocese of Cincinnati's chancellor. It says Green Township Police removed the parishioner from Saturday's afternoon mass at Our Lady of Visitation after he questioned whether a priest had viewed pornography on a parish computer. So, two police officers did escort him out. It does not say they were handcuffed, thing like that.
He was not arrested for the incident.
But let's be honest. I mean, there's two parts to this that and I'll kind of give my 2 cents. You guys throw in your 2 cents. But being Catholic, I'm Catholic. First of all, even if I wasn't Catholic, you can't look at porn at the workplace unless you work in porn.
I don't think it was just porn. I think they said it was child porn.
Nope. Right now, it is only listed as porn, so that would be.
It's not child porn.
That is not true. So you gotta be careful.
I thought I read something that it was child porn.
No,
but the type of porn that he was, the type of porn he was looking up was rape, incest. It's like crazy stuff. Some like Trevor Bauer type stuff.
Hey, Trevor Bauer was found innocent on everything, and then the two girls that accused him actually got. They have to pay him money now.
Well, but here's the thing. No matter what kind of, unless it was child porn, then he needs to be fucking arrested. But if it was porn that has consensual adults that are acting something out and it's on a legitimate site, that's fine. But don't do it at work.
What? You mean I can't go in the back of my office and view porn?
That's not fair because the back of your office is your house.
Damn it!
Yeah, isn't his house at the church?
Most priests, they do live in the school
or
on
guess
the
what?
property.
When you take the vow to become a priest, you say you ain't gonna do that stuff. That's a no.
Let's cover it up again.
I don't think this would be a cover up because it's already out there, and
So go back to you were saying earlier. The guy was never handcuffed and taken out. He left quietly. He just wanted answers for what was going on. But the funny thing is, why is there 2 Green Township security guards at a church?
Well,
something's going on, or something leaked.
No, something leaked that there could be something that could happen on Sunday. So the Archdiocese went ahead and had somebody on standby at the church, just in case. I don't know if they expected violence or anything, but
here's how you know something was, they knew something was coming, is because apparently Williams had just finished reading a letter from the Archbishop, Robert Casey, about controversy at the parish. And that Father Martin Bachman, however you say it, would be taking a previously planned sabbatical. So this was already in the works. But the individual stands up and says, I want to know more. Now, so to answer your question, Matt, they knew something was coming. But at the same time, I want to know, and this is becoming a consistent problem in our society right now, okay? You have the right, and this is where people get confused, okay? You have the right to protest peacefully, okay? If all this guy did was stand up in the middle of the church and ask the question and didn't flip stuff over, didn't threaten anybody, anything like that, there's no reason for him to be escorted out. Okay? Just like we've seen over the past year or two, we've seen videos of people standing up in the middle of school board meetings and they get escorted out. That's bullshit. It's a public forum. Church, I guess it's private property. It's the property of the church, and they can ask him to leave. In that instance, now, again, I don't have any info. So in that instance, the church can say, we'd like him off. He says, no, the cops escort him off. But there's a lot of situations where they raise questions and people automatically, get him off the property. Reverse, a couple years ago, it's okay to break windows, burn shit down. And that's peaceful protesting.
So here's a funny thing to add to this story. So apparently this guy was also a victim of some cryptocurrency scam that he ended up losing $58,000.
Wait, who?
The priest.
Okay, so dude shouldn't be on the fucking computer.
No.
Joe, I just sent you a link to the thing that happened on Sunday where he was escorted out. It's on your phone. You're not looking up porn, are you?
I might be. I don't know.
Got the shake wakes?
It's June.
Yeah, but it's all just disgusting because I've heard multiple times visitation has been not an okay place to go to.
Well, I mean, it's pretty bad. I think as an outsider, I believe in the higher power, but I don't believe in the whole Catholic, Christian, any of that. I believe, like I said, I believe in the higher power. The churches, I just feel, can they do good for people? Absolutely. But I think it's more of, hey, let's get money for these fucking higher up priests and the Pope so they can do whatever they want to do and live their life as a fucking king. I don't think all the money's going to help like it should be.
Well, who? What are you talking about?
You fucked up?
The money for what? What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about all the money that they collect.
So
The church.
for the collection plate
Collection plate.
that the parishioners take out of their paycheck to donate to the church.
Correct.
That is not nowhere in the parishioner basket does it say it's going to feed the homeless or anything. It is to support the church. That means the lights,
My point.
the water, the foundation, the cost of the priest. Because let's face it, even though he lives there and stuff like that, he still got to make money.
And all the times they got sued for molesting
Well,
little
not
boys.
not just that. They got to keep the electric running for those porn
Plus, like I
sites.
said, the utilities, all that
Yeah.
stuff. The
For
wife,
the porn sites.
well, yeah. I mean, hey,
The
and
Kleenex, the
have
Kleenexes
an
to clean the
annual
mess up.
those have a monthly or annual fee depending on how you sign up.
Transline bottles coming in by Johnson & Johnson.
Baby oil. Like
You
he
got
did
a
it.
truckload shipment. Jesus.
Probably watched it. He's probably on that Diddy site.
Probably. No, I mean, like I said, I think the church does a lot of good, but I don't think all the money that they collect goes to what it should. Like when we sent our daughter to the school, you're either in parishon or out of parishon. If you're in, you paid like $5,000 plus you had to go to church. I think 28 out of the 35 weeks, and you had to donate 25% of your income.
Catholic school is getting expensive.
Paying.
Catholic school is getting expensive, but you still get a lot of one-on-one teacher student.
I
Catholic
to
school's
those
not getting expensive.
What's that?
Catholic school isn't getting expensive. You can get a fucking voucher now.
You're correct.
Everybody can get a fucking voucher. Shit. It's like motherfucking Oprah in this bitch. Like, you get a voucher. You get a fucking voucher. You get a voucher.
That goes back to the Biden and the auto pen. You partying everybody.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Matt, you're right. I mean, it costs. I think to go to Elder now, it's like $12,000.
Oh, it's more than that because here's the thing. Oh no, here I'll pull it up because I want to be accurate. Because I about shit when I looked this up, and I was like, well, my kids are never going to that school.
Well, Sam,
All right, so let me break this down for you, okay? So, if your child goes to Cincinnati Country Day and would like to start school in preschool, okay, so let's get started early, all right? So, to do preschool, half days, 3 days a week is almost $10,000, okay? 4 days a week is $12,000. 5 days a week is almost $15,000, okay? So we're at $15,000 for half day for 5 days a week, okay? Then, here, I'm going to add this up while we're fucking doing it because...
so Elder in 2021 to 2022 was $11,300.
So preschool's $15,000. Kindergarten, okay, is finally all day, is $26,500. Okay. First grade is $27,000. Second grade, $27,000.
You gotta look at the income of that area.
Third grade, $27,000. Fourth grade is $28,000. We haven't even made it to middle school, people.
St. X is over 16,000 to go to St. X.
Fifth grade, $28,000. Sixth grade, $29,000. Seventh grade is fucking $30,000. And then
Moeller 17,500.
And
So
then
that's almost as
high
much
school,
as tuition for
Cincinnati
college.
Country Day is $120,000 for all 4 years. So to send your kid to Cincinnati Country Day from preschool all the way to graduated high school, it's going to cost you $357,500. And that's with the rate not going up. By the way, they also only pay their teachers the bare minimum, so most of those teachers only make like $35,000. And that's one student.
Yeah.
You got to keep the facilities going.
Yeah, but I mean, facilities aren't going to be that much. And then they want to raise the school levies, all this stuff. So how much money they really?
Well, school levies don't apply to Catholic schools.
What's that?
Yeah.
School levies don't apply to Catholic schools.
No, they don't.
School levies are only for the local schools that don't know how to manage their money, like Mount Healthy, that is, like $14 million in debt because they keep spending like they, or I don't know, certain Southwest school that's in between Harrison and another school district that's near Elder that, they keep fundraising for a sports complex, but magically, we won't see that for another 20 years, I bet.
So.
All these school districts, it's hilarious. All these school districts talk about levies and stuff like that, but the teachers don't get big pay raises, okay? You know who gets the big pay raises? The upper level administrators.
Yep.
The ones that have very little, they're managers. They're upper level management.
Matt, aren't you a manager? Wouldn't you want to make that kind of money?
Matt's okay.
What's that?
$5 in a donut. With a little.
You're a manager at your company.
Right? Yeah, he's a manager at his company.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Aren't you?
I'm a manager of a department.
Oh.
Same thing. But you almost feel like you do a lot of the work and you don't make enough, right?
Well, no, I've been there 26 years. I don't even make that much money on the hour. 26 years, July 1st.
God damn, you're old.
Thank you.
We're all fucking old.
I think we're all the same age.
Hell. But yeah, schools is always, they keep.
Well, see, that's about schools. They suck.
Well, no, that's funny because you were talking about it. You're like, on top of the tuition, if you play a sport for that school, you gotta pay a fee just to play. Then you still gotta pay a fee to play that sport.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's where it's funny is you have two sides of the spectrum here. You got the Catholic schools that are raking in the fucking money, but they're getting more money because of the voucher system, which, in some states, vouchers and going to non-traditional schools. Why am I brain farting the name? Charter schools. In some states, charter schools are doing amazing. In Ohio, it's still not there yet. Still not established yet. You got some charter schools that are doing well, and you got a lot of them that are very fucking shady. And unfortunately, parents don't do the research. They look up and they see a sign and they go, "That looks good," and they don't pay attention. And then their kids go, and the kids end up being dumber than they were. But that voucher money comes away from the public school, but then what's funny is the public school, they're like, "Oh, you're taking money from us." And it's like, well, you waste the money too.
They're all wasting money.
They're all fucking wasting money. And one of the biggest reasons we waste money is because we spend it on a $1 billion industry for testing.
Yep.
What were you going to say, Matt? Sorry, I cut you off.
You're good, buddy. I'm just waiting for you to let you breathe.
I can't fucking stand
No.
it.
You opened the can of worms, Matt, with the teaching.
I know Joe's background in that situation, but I was trying to lead into like paying for like a fee for schools to play sports. Then we go and we realize, hey, when we're competing these sports, now we're competing against men that are trying to become women in women's sports.
Oh, perfect transition. I love it.
Well, technically, it wasn't a perfect transition because we could still tell it was a dude.
Because we're testing, right?
Oh yeah, we're testing, all right. Jesus Christ!
So when you're done, when you're done breathing, Joe, we can move on.
Oh no, let's go on because I want to talk about like especially like the two young ladies that and God bless them for doing it. They stepped off to the podium after the 400-meter relay or the 400-meter race. Took steps off of the podium because they weren't going to share the podium in a girls' event with a dude.
And I don't think the dude won that event anyway. I think he just
took fourth.
Yeah, he medaled. But I completely agree with them girls. They stepped off. They didn't want to share the podium. And why should
you talking about the California thing, right?
Yeah.
No. This is the Oregon one.
Was that Oregon or California?
No, Oregon.
It was California. California was A.B. Hernandez.
Yeah, the California that guy won.
Well, you're right. There's multiple out there, but this A.B. Hernandez out in California took first place in 2 events, and had to stand next to the girl who also took first place.
Yeah, because they added another girl through the controversy. They still let him run, and they still let him finish him first, but they also recognized the first girl to win as well.
So is that like they're saying, hey, here's your participation award for finish first place against a guy who's trying to be a girl or a guy that is a girl? Or, I mean, what's going on here?
What it is we're moving away from, I'm sorry, but here's the thing, okay? And for any of the listeners, don't get it fucking twisted. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm a very, very strong believer. Live your life. Live your life. If you want to walk around as a dude and dress as a girl, fucking do it. Okay? If you want to marry a fucking goat, fucking marry the goat. The only thing I ever say is you should not be harming people, and if you harm children, you should be castrated and fucking killed. Period. Dot. Okay? Other than that, live your life. Marry who you want. Do what you want. As long as it's not hurting other people or hurting children, fucking do it. Okay? And when I say hurt children, I mean physically and mentally. Saying, having a little toddler walk around and say, I'm a girl, and then go, you know what, you're right, honey, I'm going to dress you as a fun girl. That's hurting kids. Okay? They don't know what the fuck's going on. But you have these sports, these athletes that, I'm sorry, I guarantee you the motherfucker took 4th in a 400 girls relay, probably took 35th in the boys race.
Well, I think he did. I don't think he was good enough in the men's because the year before he was in the boys, and then he transitioned into a girl the next year.
So think about it. You think you could run with all that junk in your pants with some short shorts? Of course, he's going to be 4th place. Disadvantage in the win categories.
I mean,
I got bad news. The whole thing. Walk around, and I really don't think.
The whole argument from the left side, it seems like, hey, they don't have an advantage. There's no advantage for the guy to be in the girls' race. They're not stronger. They're not faster. They're the same, is what they're saying.
Well, they're saying,
and we all know that's absolutely false.
Well, they're saying, well, it's not even they have advantage, disadvantage. It's a girl against a girl. It's not. It's not.
It's not. It really isn't.
And
the testosterone inside of a male is way different than testosterone. If there's any testosterone inside of a woman,
right? And and this bullshit about, well, if they lower the testosterone levels and stuff like that, they're equal. No. Here's the thing: you're still biologically a male. So, I don't give a shit what you're male. Okay, you can get your balls cut off. Guess what? My dog got his balls cut off. He's still a dude. Okay?
Race against your own sex. That's it. You're a
And guess
boy.
what?
Race against the boys. If you're not good enough, you know what? Work harder. Outwork the other people.
Well, and
That's what you got to do.
like you guys said, this, I'll be honest with you, this all tracks back to when they started in the 90s with the participation trophy. Because we moved from, let's give everyone an award for showing up, to now we've moved to, we've moved from everyone gets an award for showing up to we can't make anyone upset or feel bad. You know, we can't tell this dude that, look, buddy, I appreciate that you want to dress like a girl, but if you want to dress like a girl, you dress like a girl over in the boys' event because you're a fucking dude.
So let's bleed into that a little bit, okay? They're talking about how like transgenders are like very high on suicidal rates this year and age. Okay, I've been working my ass off as I'm a female as hard as I can to get to this area, and I want to go to this collegiate college. I want to get this, scholarship. I want to come in first place. I'm hard at it, working hard at it. Okay, boom, AB Hernandez beat me, and I didn't get my scholarship because I didn't get that first place. I'm second place now. Now I think I should go kill myself because a boy beat me at a girls' event.
Well,
Come on now. There's things like that go through women's heads too, just as much.
Well,
They work their
I mean,
asses off this shit.
here's what pisses me off about the whole thing too, is early 1900s. Women fought to have rights. They fought to be able to vote. They fought to be able to work. And because men dominated everything, they got their rights. Everything started going the way it should with society. We had the civil rights. We started working through that. Now we're in the 2020s. Civil rights is, what, 70, 60, 70 years away from now? But
Not a history maker.
now as men, we're starting to take away women's rights again.
well,
Like, why?
But the funny thing is, not a lot of women are out there standing up for this.
Well, it's
They
because
need to.
they're afraid.
they don't want to
They're
get
afraid.
canceled. But
Exactly.
you know what the funny thing is? You know what the funny thing is I wouldn't argue as much, but give me one example, okay? Give me one example of a trans boy that is placing or winning in the men's events.
I don't
So,
think it's
a
happening.
biological girl that is now playing against the boys and is placing top 5, top 10, and beating out all the boys. Show me the sport.
Nothing.
Right? There's a fucking reason that is.
So when I was in high school, yes, it was 20-something years, 25 years ago this year.
Motherfucker,
Girl
you went to school
girl
back when
wrestling
we had,
girl wrestling wasn't around like it is now, right? Now we have girls teams and boys teams, but there was a few girls that would wrestle, and one happened to be in my weight class. What do you think happened? It's my third year wrestling. It's her second year wrestling.
Josh
Absolutely
Astor out.
demolished. Yes, we're the same weight, but I absolutely demolished her because she wasn't on my level as far as strength, agility, athleticism. So
Josh laid down because that was the closest he ever got to a girl.
that's not what your mommy said.
Shannon be so proud of you.
He's like, holy shit, I touched the girl. He's like, I kissed the
But-
girl and I liked it.
I mean, at least I won in wrestling, like somebody. Oh,
But also, they also gave the girls choices.
yeah,
Back
and,
then,
and,
too.
and a lot of the
Well,
girls that
back
did
then,
wrestle,
here's
they
the
didn't
thing.
win very much.
Back
Did
then,
they
the
beat
rule,
somebody? Yes.
the rule was, and it's been for a long time, and it still is technically, that if the school does not provide a sport for the girls, they have to allow them to play on the boys' team. Okay? But
Or
the
try out.
if there's tryouts.
True.
If the sport don't have tryouts, you can't try the girl out and be like, you just didn't make it. No, fuck it, I'm on the team.
What happens if they have tree outs? Do you have tree outs?
They'll leaf their way to it. I don't know. But hey, I want to go back to, you were talking about suicide rates and these the trans people. So National Center of Health Statistics. Okay, so data from 2001 to 2018. Okay, suicide rates from the ages of in general, suicide rates had increased from 2001 to 2018 from 10% to 14.2, and then it actually declined in 2020, COVID. Okay, 2020 to 2021, it started to increase again. Okay. Now, trends in female suicide rates over the period have been observed, and the increase has been more between 20 and 21, was more significantly for women over the age of 75. Okay, suicide rates for males have been steadily increasing. So 15 to 24, ages 15 to 24 for kids, girls and boys, the suicide rates have continued to climb. Okay, over the past 15 years, they've continued to climb. That is not because all of these suicide rates are boys and girls outfits or vice versa. No, it's because society has not taught them how to handle the world. We don't teach the kids that the world's not going to give in to you. We don't teach the kids that you're going to have to overcome shit, that you're going to have to deal with adversity. We teach the kids right now that everyone's going to do what you want, and you're going to hear nothing but yes.
Social media also plays a big part in this shit too.
Oh yeah, I mean the rise of social media definitely has a big role in today's society. Bullshit. It is.
Here's the thing.
Because people do get bullied online all the time. You post something, it goes viral, people are making fun of you, and you get them type of thoughts in your head.
And they share it, and they share it, and they share it, and they pass it on.
So you're right. I'll admit to that. But do you not think that it is perpetually worse if we don't teach the kids how to handle obstacles? If the kid don't know how to handle any of that shit, you post one bad video and go, that girl had an ugly haircut. She's like, oh my God. Like,
Joe, you got to realize at this day and age, a lot of videos go viral, and they get more harassment in this day and age than back in the day. Where you had tough skin, thick skin, like us growing up. It's a different society now. We got to learn to adapt to feelings.
Well, no, I mean, here's the difference. Here's the difference between society from when we grew up.
One at a time. One at a time, gentlemen. Come on.
Here's the difference between society now. Shut up, Joe. Today compared to when we were growing up, right? If something happened at our school, and we only got made fun of by people at our school, something is videotaped now, it's all over the world if it goes viral. Now you've got millions of people can comment on this viral video, and then you're like, fuck, my life's completely over now. What am I going to do? Because I can't go anywhere without somebody recognizing me and making fun of me now.
So I agree with you. However, to add to that, when we were in school, even though it was isolated to our community or local communities around, okay, we didn't have access to the outside world. So our world was limited to that area. So if everyone around there saw something or heard something and the rumor spread, you were like, oh my God, I can't go anywhere. I can't get away. So what did you have to do? You had to have a thick skin. You had to learn how to push through it.
Your parents could probably move and transfer to go up to the next school.
How many times do you think somebody got bullied and the parents fucking sold the house and moved, if you had to guess out of 100 times,
0.
no,
I think it's more.
I'd even say 5. So,
I'd say 1 in 5. I'd say 20%.
okay, but let's go with 20%. High number. Let's go with 20%. Okay. One out of 10 or 2 out of 10. Okay, that means the other 8 have thick skins and have learned to push through it. Okay. Now we live in a society where it's flipped. Now you have the 2 out of 10 that have thick skin, and the other 8 cry and don't know how to handle it, and they go off the fucking deep end. It's not about bashing them. I'm saying because we haven't taught them and helped them to grow thicker skin.
You're correct, because back in the day, we would just go fight the bully. That's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
This day and age, they want to fight the bully with a keyboard behind the scenes.
Exactly. You can't fight that person.
It's not a physical fight. It's an embarrassing fight. It's more of like, I'm going to not poke you. I'm going to end you.
Yep.
Can't look at the cancellation of all these people in this day and age.
But
they want to cancel you if you're not on their side.
Right. Cancel you. But again, and I'm agreeing with you guys that it is different, and unfortunately,
you just said it wasn't different.
Motherfucker, shut up. I said it's different in the sense of how many get. Shut up. But here's the thing.
Poking the bear.
What does happen though is no matter if it's different or not, creating a society where kids don't know how to deal with adversity, that don't have a thick skin, they don't know how to overcome obstacles, creates more kids that think the only solution is suicide. That's why the suicide rates continue to climb over the past 15 years for 14, 25 years old. Because they don't have an out.
I want to point out a thing, too, to the mental health. And one of our buddies that we did a podcast with prior, he always said transgenderism is a mental disease.
It is.
It's something mental in the person, and that's what they think, right? I don't know. That's my train of thought now. Son of a bitch. But let's just say you. Oh, that's what I was. Look at some of these school shootings lately, or mass shootings. Who have they been by? Transgender people
No, they have not been.
Some of the big ones lately, school shootings have been by transgender or something similar to that.
I agree. I agree to a certain extent, but is really transgender a mental health? Yes or no? It could be, but then you go back to what Joe said. If you want to live your life the way you want to live your life, live your life the way you want to.
No,
I know you're not. I know you're not saying that
like that.
Well, but here's the thing. I agree with, but like you said, Matt, like you agree with me that let them live your life. Live your life as long as you're happy. That's great. But at the same time, here's the problem. It is a mental health problem. I mean, if Josh was to show up one day and truly believed, and he goes, "Hey guys, I'm a duck, and from now on, I'm going to sit on these eggs, and I'm going to lay eggs and everything else, and I'm a fucking duck." Guess what? We're not going to sit here and go, "Yes, you're a duck, Josh. Yes, you're a duck. Fuck a duck. You're a duck."
So here's what we could say too. What was that movie called where is the guy that played in X-Men, Professor X, the younger guy. He played in that movie to where he had multiple personalities. Schizophrenia, right? Is that the medical term?
I know you're talking about. It was.
You have different personalities. So,
yeah.
And that's a mental illness. So a transgender, they think they're the opposite. Isn't that the same type of thing? Right? I get what you're saying. I'm Josh, but my alter ego, his name is Dwayne. right?
I get where you're going with that. Now, to kind of go along with that, here's the thing where, people are like, well, a lot of these transgender people are commit suicide. Well, again, a mental illness, okay, depression, anxiety, PTSD, believing you're a transgender, split personality, all these things, guess what? The brain synapses aren't firing the same way as they should be. So it's not working right. So guess what? Then you don't think clearly. Well, when you don't think clearly, you do things you wouldn't normally do.
But hold on. To go to your point is there's people out there, like you said, like I say, when they're young, under 18, I don't think it should be spoon fed this shit.
No,
100%. So their parents, hold on, finish. Then, like after that, they want to decide what they want to be in the future. It's fine. Now I get to the point where like men that transition over to women saying, "Oh, I have a period. Oh, I have ovaries." Now that's the mental health part that's getting fucked up in this world, right there.
Or now, you got students that think they're cats and they need a freaking litter box in the bathroom.
Josh, that's whatever, man. I mean, shit.
So
look across seas. There's suicide bombers that believe in, once they kill people, there'll be 75 women in heaven. That's a mental thing.
72 virgins, and which is funny because hell, I can't walk down the street and meet one.
You're married, dude. You're married.
Well, first of all, you don't walk down those streets. Let's be honest.
I drive. By the way,
speaking of that,
hold on. Josh's point about school shootings. By the way, so the National Threat Assessment Center said that in 2023, out of 180 attacks and mass shootings between 2016 and 2020, only 3 were by transgender. That's out of 180. Okay, and that's between 2016 and 2020. Between 1999 and 2024, there have been a total of 4 by transgender individuals. Okay?
That's from 1999 to 2024. You just said from 2016 to 2023, there was 3. So that means only one's happened since 2020. But
no, only 1 was by a transgender. So out of all those years, there were 4.
I don't think that's right because the last few big school shootings or mass shootings have been by a transgender.
Well,
I'm not saying just school.
This is up to 2024.
We need to look at the stats from 2020 to 2025. How many? But to this is the crazy part that I think that people don't realize too, is you got most transgender or gay people, they tend to be on the left side of the aisle, right? And what's the left side of the aisle trying to fight for right now? Palestine. If these people actually walk down the street in Gaza, do you really know what would happen to these people?
They'd be
beheaded.
They'd be fucking killed by Palestinian people. They will be killed. They don't believe in that stuff, and that's doesn't make any sense. Like,
well, just to be gay,
you'll
get you killed in Palestine.
Yeah, exactly. Muslims, you go into Saudi Arabia, you go into Iraq, a lot of these Middle Eastern countries, and you're going to be beheaded. You're going to be killed.
But that's the good thing about America. You can be whatever you want to be, You want to be a cat and live on a farm? Be a cat, live on a farm.
And say, oh, there's all this genocide, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, walk in the streets over there. You're going to see a real genocide. They're going to kill you for no reason. They don't have to have a reason. It's because you're against their religion.
Sad. So sad.
So while we're talking, and I agree with you. Like, I mean, they're backing a society that would basically condemn them. So looking at different no one has like exact numbers, but one thing that is consistent when it comes to the mass shooting things is that transgender individuals represent less 5% or less of the shootings.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's been the last couple big ones, like the last 3 or 4 big ones, have been by a transgender.
Well, and that could be, but I'm just saying, like, they, it's not like they're the only one, they're not, but, again, a lot of this comes down, and Matt, like you said, you hit the nail on the head with, we should not be spoon feeding kids that are very susceptible to persuasion or, being guided. Just as much as I would expect, I should never hear a teacher in a classroom talking about their political beliefs. They definitely should not be talking about their sexual beliefs. So talking about being a male, being a female, what it means to be a male, what it means, that's for the home, not the school.
So let's feed off that a little bit. What do you think about these cross-dressers trying to read stories in libraries to kids? That schools that allow them that.
I mean, here's the thing. So, if it depends on the story, okay. If a cross-dresser comes in and sits down and reads, I don't know,
Curious George,
okay, and not the fucked up.
What happens if the cross-dresser's name was George?
Not the fucked up 2025 version of Curious George, where the guy in the yellow hat fucking presses and and all that shit. Like, no. If you're reading, you know what? Read the story, and then if for some reason the kid comes up to mommy and daddy later, or mommy and mommy, or daddy and daddy, because again, we live in a world where that's perfectly fine. But if they come up to him and they say, "Mommy or daddy, was that a guy or a girl?" They can have that conversation at home and teach the kid. Hopefully, they're teaching the kid right that that person, they feel more comfortable wearing that type of clothing. That doesn't make them a bad person. Doesn't make but they feel more comfortable with that. So as long as they're not hurting you.
But you know why? You're not spoon feeding your kids that. You're spoon feeding the knowledge that to show your kids, because your kids will trust you with that knowledge.
Right.
Now, let's say they have Q&A after the book telling, but the kid raises his hand. Why are you dressed like a woman?
Then the person that's reading the book should be professional enough and be adult enough to say, that is not a conversation. That's not something I can answer. Let's talk about the book. What question do you have about the story?
Your parents can answer that question. Your parents can answer that question.
Your parents.
So my thing with that is, if the parents aren't informed of that happening, I don't think that should be allowed. If the parents are informed of it, hey, this is what we're going to do.
Correct.
This is what we want to do. You can either have your child sit out or sit in, and nothing's going to be counted against them or withheld from them. Absolutely. Yeah. The library. If it's story time at the library, hey, this is what we're going to do at the library. You can bring your kids in.
Except, here's the problem with that. I agree with you, but also here's the problem with that. Okay. Now we're trying to build an inclusive environment for the individual that is, dressing and everything else, rather than accepting them and just saying, hey, don't fucking speak your personal views on my kids. Just read the book. Be a volunteer. Instead, now my kid is excluded and other kids are excluded. So then guess what? Yeah, they don't get mentioned that, but you don't think the other kids that are there are like, oh, why didn't you get to go? My mommy says that you don't get to go because your daddy hates blah, 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 and you're just like him, and then they get picked on.
No, I still think it should be.
You don't think kids don't do that?
Joe, yes, they do that. We're not going to say no at the end of the day. But, again, you're explaining situations from your as a parent to your child, or you simply just keep your child home from school that day.
Yeah,
You know,
that's it.
Keeping them home from school, yeah, I could see that, but at the same time, like that shouldn't be the person again. If you want a society, and when I say you, I'm talking about all these leftists that talk about equal rights and fair treatment and all that bullshit. Okay, you want equal rights and fair treatment. Well, guess what? If you want to come in and read to my kid, read to my kid. But you need to read a story that is appropriate for everyone, not something that's trying to push your ideology. Okay? Because if you're okay with that, if you are allowed to push your ideology, and I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. So hold on, okay? You ready? Okay. Then who's to say that these fucking sorry ass, and I say sorry ass, psychotic neo-Nazis, why don't they get to come in and read their beliefs to people? Oh, that's right, because it's not accepted, which it shouldn't be, because they're fucking crazy assholes, and I fucking can't stand them, and they need to be gone. But I'm just saying, if you can allow one group of people to push your ideologies on one kid, then everyone should be allowed to push their ideologies.
Okay, you give your kids a choice on what you want to see and what you don't want them to see.
I mean, I'm sending my kid to this school. I expect the same respect back, from the teachers and the principal. Like, if you're gonna go have story time, I'm fine with story time. I don't care who's reading it, what book they read it. Like you said, you can ask questions.
I just want to be informed. That's it.
Simple as that, Joe. I get what you're saying about the ideology thing, though. But that's political shit. We're talking about like what you would do to our kids. I get what you're saying. Your beliefs are though.
It's a matter of principle, and say, hey, all I want to do is be informed of what's going on with my child.
Oh yeah,
that's it. That's all I care.
Like, I think let's face it, there are schools out there that have being sued because they're trying to tell teachers to not report things to the parents. That's bullshit. Like, why are you not telling me about my kid? That's my child. That's not your child. And that's where, the line. But, I agree with you that, yes, you should be informed. So, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, see,
You just said that, though.
Shut the fuck up.
You literally just had an argument that then it's not inclusive.
No. I said, my argument was no, it was nothing to do with not being inclusive. I said, if we can be adults and...
Well, you just said the kid would have been made fun of and all that stuff because he wasn't included. You did say that.
Yes, I said that. Not when the kid's left at home, okay? But there are situations where the kids get sent to a different room because the parents either aren't told about it, or they had to sign a paper that says yes, they can participate, or no, and they go to a different room, and then the kids, why?
Joe, is this bringing up childhood memories? You okay, buddy?
Shut the fuck up.
You need a hug?
Look,
why you get so mad?
Well, I get so mad because
you sound like you need an auto pen.
No,
I
get so mad.
Should Joe Biden pardon you now with the auto pen?
Poke the bear.
I get so mad about this because you're passionate. I'm a very passionate person about the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. I teach my kids, it does not matter if you wear a dress, if you wear pants, if you have long hair, short hair, if you're black, white, purple, brown, and I know you guys do too. You treat everyone with respect and courtesy. If somebody treats you wrong, you can give it right back to them. But it has nothing to do with their religion, their gender, their belief, anything like that. It's how they treat you is what you're going to give back to them. But the problem is we don't live in a world that supports that anymore. And I fucking hate it.
Well, no, it's because the left wants to throw everything down your throat and say you're a bad person because you voted for one person that you felt would improve your life, and because of that, you're now a Nazi and
And
you're
the funny thing
racist.
is me and a lot of the people that voted for Trump, it wasn't just to make my life better. I strongly believe he's going to make the whole country better for everyone. Like, even those rich fucking leftist assholes that fucking hate him are going to magically profit from it.
Yeah, I mean the Democrats. Yeah, the Democratic Party. They don't have a message right now. They're in so disarray. They lost the middle class. The Democrats used to be the party of the middle class, and now they're not. The Republicans.
Good.
I don't know how or where that came, but they became the party.
Well, they just like you said, if you don't believe in their stuff, though, it's as simple as this.
They make
And I
you.
hate it. And I think this is what we're passionate about too. You get canceled.
Yeah, it started.
They
from
want
Hillary Clinton.
nothing to be with you. They will destroy you. They will go back to like your history and you looked up this porn site and you said, "Hey, you hate gay people, gay porn," and they will destroy you on that on their pedestal or something like that. They'll use anything to get even with you and cancel
Kevin
you
Hart
out.
was a prime example. His dream was to host the Oscars. They went back 10, 15 years ago. He made some homophobic jokes, and all of a sudden he couldn't do the Oscars at that point. Like, he lost
Guess
his
what,
dream.
Josh? Guess what? It's a fucking joke. If you don't want to hear a goddamn joke, you don't want to hear a comedian, don't go. Control your atmosphere. Be who you want to be where you want to be. Okay.
Who I am now is not who I was 10 years ago. It's not who I was 20 years ago.
I get it. We all grow up. We live and learn.
I've learned. I've grown up. I was a dick. I'm still kind of a dick, especially to Joe.
He's my dick.
Right.
Well, the thing is, your wife probably brought the better out of you. Your kids grew up, taught you things.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what it is.
Here,
being a parent, being a husband, teaches you a lot.
Here is the Democrats' view on life. Okay, the leftist view.
I can't hear anything.
There's no sound.
But just reading it, yeah. I mean, it absolutely kind of. I could see that.
Anakin represents the Democrats, by the way. And that right there is, in fact, the mindset of the left. If you're not with me, then you're against me.
You're my enemy.
You're my enemy.
And
I'm going to cancel you.
And it shouldn't be that. I should be able to have a difference of opinion as you. We should be able to talk about it. And then after we have a conversation, we should be able to go have a beer together.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing. Like, I mean, perfect example, like some of my coworkers and even some of my teachers and classmates, like I've been able to have pretty intense conversations with them. And then we're great. We don't see eye to eye. We don't agree. But we can have those conversations. We can explain each other's point of view and have a conversation. And guess what? At the end of it, we're perfectly fine with each other. We don't hate each other. We're not upset. And the next day, we can come back and we're still friends. That's the difference between the Republican and Democratic Party right now.
But that's the thing. Again, politics destroyed this world.
Politics has always destroyed the world. Let's face it. I mean, if it weren't for politics, I mean, hell, the world would be a much beautifuler place.
I mean, let's just be honest. It's not even the politicians. It's the corporation. It's the corporations that own everything.
Well,
big corporations. Big business.
Big business. They're the ones who's running the show. They're buying
it. I think you two can agree with me on this. I think there's a cure for cancer out there. But if they bring it out, the medicine will go down the drain.
Well, you notice how HIV wasn't a big thing after like Magic Johnson. He doesn't have HIV anymore. All of a
Well-
sudden, he's cured.
Well, South Park figured that out is because you grind up money.
Yeah.
You inject money.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% right. I think they have a cure for cancer. They don't want to bring it out because it's big business.
And the unfortunate, I don't.
And I'm not anti-vax, but I thought this was pretty interesting. Is from the time you're a child to an adult, you take 72 different vaccines. When we were growing up, we didn't have that many vaccines. But you get a kid sick. You get a kid sick one time,
You're
they're a patient for life.
Was there a
That's
peanut
what-
allergy
that's
in
what
the
they look
80s?
at now.
Was there a peanut allergy in the 80s? But now everyone has it.
I think there was, but
I mean, here's the thing: there were diseases back then that we just didn't know about, and we just, I mean, let's face it, ADHD. I have ADHD, and like back when I was a kid, they were like, "Oh, you're just a bad kid." Well, they've actually done neuroscience to show that your brain fires differently. So, we didn't know about it. So there are things out there, but like Josh, like you said, like there's a lot more vaccines out there. Well, unfortunately, that also shows our immune system has actually decreased for our kids because there's so many vaccines and everything else.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm anti-COVID vaccine because my kids will not get that fucking thing because I don't trust it.
You see what they said.
Huh?
The CDC came out and said you don't need the kids to get a vaccine, the COVID vaccine, and or pregnant women.
Well,
And now we're 5 years after, and you're seeing a lot of adults our age, younger, all have microcondylitis, whatever that freaking word is, microcondylitis with the heart. You're having heart issues all of a sudden.
oh, I thought you were trying to say something. I was like, you were born with no.
That was never a thing. There was maybe 15 to 20 cases a year with that, and now there's hundreds of thousands of cases.
Let's go back to what Joe said about ADHD back in the day. We were prescribed medicine stuff. Now they don't prescribe ADHD anymore. Not as much. It's anxiety now.
Well,
Everybody has the anxiety word going thrown around now.
So to your
it's
point,
different.
Tom Cruise
Anxiety.
debated one. I can't remember what talk show host he was debating with that. Is he actually studied? He read all these studies about Ritalin and all this. All they're doing with that medicine is masking the real issue. That's all medicine is supposed to do. It masks the real condition. Tylenol, pain medicine. It masks the pain.
For the record, your source is a Scientologist. I don't believe it. So
It comes from a 5-foot guy like
Right.
who's just calling you. That's why, Josh.
I
But no,
forgot.
I mean, a lot of that's true.
It's not.
A lot of it is true. If you start thinking about it, these doctors are paid. These pharmaceutical sales people, they're paid to go sell these doctors for medicine. They get kickbacks, so they're going to prescribe.
Yes.
That's why there's a pandemic with Oxycontin, Vicodin, and a lot of the
pandemic
stuff.
for Oxycontin and everything else because unfortunately,
Pain medicine masks. It masks the pain.
well,
People in the 1800s, they had to deal with the pain. They had to deal with it. They had
in the
morphine.
1800s, it wasn't an epidemic because you could go to the doctor and get prescribed cocaine.
Maybe that's should be it.
There was cocaine in the Coke. Coca-Cola.
Oh, I know.
I mean, opioids.
Pharmaceutical, it's just a big business to get money. That's all it is.
Yes, but there are a lot of medicines out there that are not there just to mask the
Oh, I know.
issue.
I mean, ivermectin as well.
But
Nobel Peace Prize,
but-
was it?
to
Whatever it is.
Matt's point, Matt, I agree with you that I hope I'm wrong, but I could see it coming out one day that they've had a cure for cancer for a very long time, and it's locked away somewhere because some pharmaceutical company or a group of companies don't want to release it because they would lose the billions of dollars. Right.
More than billions, going to a trillion sooner or
I
later.
know, but but
Probably more than that.
I hope it doesn't. I hope they actually come out with one and they're like, yep, here's the cure. But it's not going to happen. Like, it's too big of a business. Speaking of, like,
think
control, like when we talk about control and big business and stuff like that, like, we talked about the left and the right and stuff like that. But who was really in control the past 4 years before Trump? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, did something come out about an auto pen?
So before that, I want to make one
Oh,
statement.
you
too.
motherfucker.
So also you go back in the 1920s, 1930s, and you had big tobacco. Big tobacco did not want to have marijuana legal, so they withheld that to be illegal.
Well, they pushed to get it illegal so that they didn't have the competition.
They didn't have the competition because they knew marijuana was a better stimulant for people and it actually helped people medically. And so
I don't know if they knew all that. They just didn't want the competition because
yeah, absolutely. And it's funny now they know all the benefits of marijuana and it's becoming a big thing now.
Which is why it's also becoming legal.
So it's funny. So tobacco companies I don't think they're making as much money as they used to back in the day.
Oh, they're still making money because I think they raised cigarettes up to like $10 a pack.
But here's the thing. What did these companies start doing? They started buying food companies. So now they're in our food. So just saying.
If Josh ever disappears, he's out in the woods in some fucking cabin.
I never go cold with that beard.
Nope.
It's one big. It's one big beard neck all the way down.
Oh yeah.
They call me Uncle Jed.
Now, Joe, I do want to apologize for Josh for taking your thunder there about going into the auto pen. He's a dick for that.
That's all right. It's all right. I know he's a dick. He's been my friend for almost 30 years. So, I mean, I've known he's a dick for a long time.
Yeah,
so stop bullying him, Josh.
Yeah, stop bullying me.
Let somebody get a word in there. Jesus, Pete, you on these fucking half-hour rants.
You poke the bear. You poke the bear.
Hey, you know what?
You're right. You start talking about transes and cross-dressers, reading him stories, it brought back memories.
Yeah, because my best friend used to wear a dress.
I mean, it was cool back in the day.
A little drafty. So anyway, the auto pen. So Matt, this was something you had brought up. So let's talk a little bit about the auto pen.
This is your subject, buddy. You bring it up.
This was not my subject.
Who's running the country? It's crazy that we just found out in a book from Jake Tapper that President Biden wasn't really mentally fit to run the country.
Oh yeah. So we all knew that. The Democrats were denying that for years.
So if they knew the White House, all these people, they knew he wasn't fit to run for the presidency. And now you got all these pardons at the very end of his presidency. If he wasn't mentally fit, now all these pardons are coming out. You're going to pardon his son, and you're going to pardon all these people. And you look at the signature. It's not his signature. It was an auto pen. And he's not mentally capable of doing it. So who actually is running that auto pen?
Again, good luck on proving that.
Well, you can prove if it was an auto pen or not.
Yeah.
I know that, but was he insane or not insane?
It doesn't matter. So with these documents,
even if he was sane, like an auto pen, like it's not signed by the President of the United States, because anyone can create an auto pen. Like, I mean, I can upload an image of any of your signatures. If I've got a GIF of your signature, a picture of your signature, I can upload it and get a stamp made.
Maybe he can't sign. Maybe he's holding his hand straight.
Now I can go sign anybody's autograph that I want and make millions of dollars off of it.
Well, but the nice thing is they can tell the difference between, because your signature is never consistently exactly the same.
I know, but if you're a Joe Burrow fan and I auto pinned a football for you and it looks exactly like his
I'll
autograph,
punch you in the nuts.
you're not going to know it's not from Joe. It's actually not signed by Joe Burrow. I'm just a scammer who just scammed you for $900 and all it cost me was $20 to do.
What is this?
Well, first of all, I'll be calling Joe a dumbass for not getting authenticated first.
Well, I
So,
should have known better when it said "with love, kisses." I was like, "Fuck."
But to Joe's point, I think with presidential pardons, it has to be a full signature from the president. It
I think
cannot.
it should be an authentic.
It's got to be
original
authentic. It
signature.
can't be from AutoPin. And if it is, I don't think it's constitutionally correct at that point.
Well, that
I think they can fight it, and they would probably win because it says it in the Constitution. It has to be signed by the
I don't know.
president.
There's some fucking stupid ass judges out there now. So, but at the same time, like, I also don't think that the sitting president of the United States should be allowed to pardon a single family member.
Nope.
That is a misuse of your power. You should not be allowed to do it.
And you did it for a reason because you knew he was guilty. And
Oh yeah, you don't pardon somebody who's innocent.
yeah, I mean,
And you know what,
he
guys?
took money
I
from
pardon
foreign
you for all the
countries.
stuff that you might do someday.
Yep.
You might do someday.
Right. Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because they were like, well, Hunter Biden didn't do anything. I would never pardon him. Well, he doesn't need a pardon. He doesn't need a pardon. I just pardoned him. For what?
If he didn't do anything,
For what? Oh, it's just in case. Just in case.
something comes out. We never know.
Just in case what? Somebody stands up in the middle of the church and asks why he's looking at porn at work? Like,
Why are you looking at porn in the Oval Office?
right. Why are you looking at... Why are you
I mean-
flogging the bishop in the middle of the Oval Office?
I mean, no, they don't do that. They use cigars. Come on.
They go down in the Kennedy tunnels.
They hire interns and they use cigars on them.
Yeah. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Didn't.
Oral sex is not sex.
When you fill your sheet out, do you put satisfied or unsatisfied?
That was my work.
So I mean, it begs the question: so who actually was signing all this stuff? Were they getting kickbacks
Well,
for the pardons?
we know it wasn't Harris.
No.
I mean, let's face it, she wouldn't know how to use the auto pin. I'd be upside
I mean,
down.
it's crazy how many of these news stations and Democrats are now coming out and saying, yeah, we were probably wrong on this. We should have probably been. No shit, you should have been covering it.
They're
Is
just
it
trying to
everything-
cover their ass. They knew.
Every big news story for the last 8 years, you've been proved wrong. Almost every single thing you've been proved wrong with. So why should I believe you at that point? Everything you've said has been a lie.
So, I got my next question, and to share my question, I have a special guest
Well, 100 men beat a grizzly bear. Yes.
that is going to lead us in this question. Okay.
There's no volume, Joe. There's no volume.
Yeah, start that up.
Speaking of the Biden's thing too, before he plays that video, Karine Jean-Pierre officially leaves the Democratic Party.
Who?
Karine Jean-Pierre, she was the press secretary. She was the one that was going up and answering all the questions, say nothing's wrong with Joe Biden, nothing's wrong, everything's perfectly fine. The Democratic Party's great, blah, blah, blah. She
did it twice.
She left the Democratic Party because how bad it is, how bad it really is.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Joe, if you play that again, you gotta turn it up.
All right, I'm. Here.
Dun, dun, dun.
Here, let's try now.
I'm all for gay pride,
You hear now?
gay weekend,
Yep.
parade. I will say gay pride month seems a little greedy. It's a month. We only get 12. Basically 11, because then it's gay pride month again. 4 weeks in a 4 weeks in a row. They don't even try to break that shit up. You know, have a week in January, come back in April after you healed up, you know, and then August, who gives a shit? August, who cares, you know? And then New Year's, you know, New Year's, who has a dick on New Year's, frankly? Come on, your life. Don't cheat yourself. 4 weeks in a row. We get Veterans Day. You fight for the country, you get a day. Thank you for fighting for the country. Oh, I'm sorry, day's over. Take me off the barbecue. That's it. You get a day. That's it. Day. Thank you for fighting for the country. Memorial Weekend. You die for the country. They give you a weekend. Thank you for dying for the country. Take the boat out of the lake, put it on. Take the boat out of the lake, put it on the truck. You get a weekend. Memorial Weekend. Thank you for dying for the country. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. Kept the Union together. Gets a day. Not even his own day. He's got to share it with George Washington, who founded the whole fucking country. He doesn't get a day either. He's got to share it with Lincoln. But if they would have sucked each other's dicks, they would have got a whole month. That's all I'm saying.
What are you trying to say, Jeff?
Well, first of all, I have to briefly say, like, yes, I mean, Rob Schneider is hilarious. Do I think it was a little extreme with the whole sucking dick thing? Like, you know, that's not the intent. But my point to showing that is that, you know, again, going back to what I said earlier, okay, I'm a very strong believer that you should be allowed to live your life. Be happy. As long as you're not harming children or harming other people, live your life. Let people live their lives. Let them enjoy their life, because at the end of the day, guess what? When you die, you're at your own deathbed. You don't get, you know, it's not one of those things where you're taking a bunch of people with you, because even if you die doing something stupid, you're dying alone, okay, because you're by yourself. I mean, you fucking set a whole building on fire. Guess what? Each individual person's dying alone.
And let them celebrate if they want to celebrate. That's fine with me. We don't have to go to that stuff.
Well, but
let them enjoy themselves.
Here's my point. Why is it that the country recognizes, you know, like, I get, and even to a point, like now, like, you know, like Black History Month, Asian Islander Pacific Month, everybody gets a month, okay, for not really doing anything. But the people that have actually done something, you know, and I know I'm biased because I'm a veteran, but here's the thing. Veterans is not specific to a specific race. Veterans is black, white, you know, or race, ethnicity, black, white, Asian. If you're an American that served in the country honorably and fought for your country, you're a veteran. Why the fuck do we give veterans one day? And Rob Schneider was wrong. I mean, yeah, it's Memorial Day weekend, but it's only Memorial Day. So you die for the country, you get one day. It just happens that it falls on a weekend, so we make sure everybody gets 3 days to celebrate it. But it's only one day. But to celebrate your sexuality, you get a whole month. Why can't we celebrate your sexuality with a weekend? I'm fine with Pride Weekend or Pride Week. Okay? Fuck, do it. Have fun. Okay? And like you said, Matt, I don't have to go to the parades. I don't have to, you're right, I don't. But at a certain point, we're at a point in 2025 where we no longer need to be expelling out this, you know, you need to know about this. You need to know about this. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that there's individuals that like the same sex or like to dress a certain way. That's fine. Live it. But when you get a whole month and you start jamming it down people's throat, then you start getting people pissed off.
Well, I mean, and to the fact that now, like the NFL, there are certain teams in the NFL that you should boycott, right? That's how bad it got. All these NFL teams aren't celebrating Pride Month. You should ban them. Baseball teams, you should boycott them. You're pushing the ideology on something that you shouldn't. Enjoy your time, enjoy your life. Don't push it onto organizations. They don't have to do what you tell them to do.
Well, they want to get sponsorship and they want to use their platform as a position to expose more of it. That's why. You know that.
I get that. If that team doesn't want to perform it, they shouldn't have to. Their players can come out and do whatever they want, and the NFL is they started to get relaxed on it. But if a player wore a certain cleat that wasn't approved by the NFL, they got fined.
Yes, they did.
They shouldn't be fined for that. If they want to have cleats that celebrate Pride Month, go for it. Let them do it. Don't fine them. That's their right. That should be their right.
But now you can wear, so let them, like, you're right. You can wear cleats or even gloves or something that is to honor those. Absolutely. I'm just saying that
you don't have to cancel anything.
A whole month is excessive. Like, and especially because, again, if you think about it, the very fun, and I'm sure there's more to it, but the very basic foundation to Pride Month for LGBTQ / dot carry the 2 squared to the 4th power letters is your sexuality. Like, why do you need a month to spread that?
But also, you gotta look at this. It was allowed. I get what you're saying. It was allowed. Trust me, I'm an American all the way, and I think people who are veterans out there do what they did.
They should be more than a day a weekend.
Do you see anybody out there actually fighting for the month like they did? I mean, it's been around forever. I'm with you. I think we should have a month. I think we should have a whole year. I don't know. I'm just kidding, but we should have something more than just a couple of days a year.
Well, and
if anybody deserves a month, it's the Native. And I will say this till I'm blue in the face: the Native Americans are the ones who were persecuted, killed, slaughtered, raped, pillaged, land stolen from them. They deserve more than what they get.
I'd be okay to give them a month. Like, that's just it. Like, even, like, I'm not saying, like, Black History Month, okay, cool. Asian Islander Pacific Month, okay. Native American Month, that'd be great, okay. I'm just saying, like, and even veterans, like, you know, we don't, like, I can't speak for every veteran, but, like, we don't go out and search for acknowledgement. Like, that's not, so, you know, like, I'm just using a comparison. Like, veterans don't need a month. Like, we would accept it, but that's not what we did it for. You know, what veterans don't fight for. But I'm just saying, I don't understand why we still need a month of pride, like a Pride Month. You know?
So hold on. Let me ask you a question, though. If they gave you a month for veterans, would it even bother you that they had a month for Pride?
Yeah.
It would bother you?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well,
I don't care if they got a month. I'm gonna live my life the way I want to.
Oh,
it doesn't bother me.
Here's the thing: I'm not losing sleep over it. It's just a question I'm asking because, again,
gotcha.
Like, I don't understand the idea behind it. Like, I mean, and unfortunately, you know, like, I mean, hell, teachers get a whole week. You know, you got Teacher Appreciation Week. Even teachers don't get a whole month. You know.
Joe, to answer your question, though, You don't have to understand because you don't explore into that situation. That's the reason they get the whole month to explain stuff. I get what you're saying, but if veterans wanted a month, I'd be the first one to sign the paper right next to you. I'm sure Josh would too.
But it's
Oh,
not a whole
100%.
month of explaining.
It's a celebration.
Yeah.
Okay.
But within that month, it's just also learning stuff too. Like Black History Month. It's history. You're learning of the history. But I get what you're saying. You're allowed to have your opinion about the stuff. But like you said, you're more mad about the fact veterans are not getting a whole month, and yet pride is. I get what you're saying there. But like Josh was saying, we don't care. We live our life. And I know you're not going to that level. You don't care either. You're not losing sleep over it.
Like I said,
But-
the only one I feel like I think veterans should have a whole month. We should celebrate veterans all month, and then I think Native Americans deserve a month.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the Pride Month. I'm okay with Black History Month. Asian Pacific Month. It doesn't bother me.
What about Flag Day?
Well, that's one day.
Here-
And Arbor Day.
here's one of the reasons that this shit pisses me off. Okay. Right.
Here we go.
Students pledge allegiance to the pride flag.
My room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, "Hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you." In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and goes, "Oh, that one?"
That's an example of stupid shit.
Well,
Yeah, but not all of them
That's
do that.
I didn't say
that's
all.
you poking the bear. That's poking. I get what you're saying, but that's your true feelings, which I get. I agree with you on that. Okay, but also there is people out there that are against what she said 100%.
Oh yeah.
And I know you agree with
I'm not
me. I
saying
know you
they
agree with me.
But again, you're supporting this ideology by saying you can have a whole month. Why the fuck do you need a whole month?
Because
I'm saying even a whole month.
They were prosecuted. They were beat. They were jumped. They were treated horribly from the time they kind of figured out they had to hide. They couldn't come out. Now it's like, hey, now it's open. It's welcome.
Question.
Let them have it.
No.
What's your question, Joe?
I mean, just because you haven't came out of the closet yet, Joe.
What's the history of individuals that gay, lesbian, LGBTQ that have been prosecuted? What's the history on that? How many years are you talking?
I mean, it's always happened.
Is it?
Oh, it goes all the way back in the Roman times. You see these
Oh, you mean the
shows.
Roman times when they actually believed that men were for sex and women were for procreation? You mean that time?
Oh, I watched.
You mean that time? When
Was
it was more acceptable
I watched House of Dragon. Come on.
to hook up with a dude, but then you use the woman to impregnate, but
Hey.
the man was for fun? Men and men were fun?
I
You
seen
mean
that.
during that time they were prosecuted? Fuck you. That's right.
I mean, it happened back in the day.
Yes.
in the
but
Roman times.
Here's where I get irritated. Every culture, every group has been persecuted, enslaved, beaten, killed for different reasons throughout history. Doesn't make it right. I'm not saying it's right. Okay? Not saying that anybody was, that it's a good thing or bad thing. Most of the time it was a bad thing. Shouldn't have done it. But it happened. Okay?
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're still kind of missing the whole point of it. It's like my cousin came out. I actually almost forced him to finally come out.
My brother-in-law and his husband.
I know,
They don't
but
care.
people were scared. They were scared to what people would think of them, and how society would think of them, what their families would think of them. So they didn't come out. They hid their real
Okay.
feelings and true what they wanted to be true.
Yes. Back in the day, yes.
Now it's
We're not
open.
like that now.
It's out there. No, it's not.
So then we don't need a whole month.
But I mean, that's
I
you.
can
What's your
justify
opinion?
I can justify a month back when people weren't as knowledgeable, and you use the month like.
But
Matt
people
said,
are still
educate
scared.
and stuff like that.
People are still scared. People are still scared.
Okay, so that's why we have Black History Month, is because there's a lot of black people afraid that cops are going to kill them, right? That's why we have Black History Month.
No, I mean that's not the reason why you know that.
Well, but I'm just
No,
saying.
I'm just
like,
saying.
they're scared.
I'm just
So,
saying.
Joe, oh, hold on, Josh. No. At the end of the day, Joe, what you're saying is you don't want a whole month for them, but you want a whole month for veterans.
I don't even care if veterans get a whole month.
He just doesn't want
I'm
a full
just
month
using an
for
example of the ridiculousness of. I mean, and we could even go. People argue that teachers don't get paid shit, but football players get paid millions of dollars. Teachers teach, educate doctors, lawyers, and everything else. Without them, I'm just using compare again.
No, you're correct. Teachers are the backbone of this country.
I'm just saying that again, going back to we talk about the transgender coming in and teaching our kids or reading to them and stuff like that. Like, again, why do we have a whole month to educate for something that does not need to be a whole month anymore? Okay, we make adjustments. Hell, let's split it in half. Shit, let's split it in half. 2 weeks for LGBTQ and 2 weeks for Native Americans.
Go ahead, do it.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying that group, shouldn't be recognized. Okay, I'm just saying that we're keeping excessive past where it should be. It was justified initially because we wanted to educate people and we needed to get the information out and let people know that it is.
Well, it just stuck naturally. It just stuck naturally then. That's all it did.
Yeah, I mean they fought for it. They fought for their rights, and you know what? They won, and people started celebrating it, and they got a month out of it.
I mean, I think
matter to me now.
Josh, me or Joe with you at the end of the day, we want to see more veteran stuff out there, celebrations, we get what you're saying.
But even just take the veteran stuff off the table. I'm just saying, like, there are other.
You don't think they deserve a full month, is what you're saying?
Yes, there are other groups, like you said, Native Americans, that I think deserve a full month. LGBTQ, I don't think deserves a whole month anymore. Like, they have a right to either. There should be some celebration for, but it doesn't need to be a whole month. That's all I'm saying.
It's your birthday in June. Is that why?
No.
He doesn't like to see rainbows in June. I love seeing rainbows in June. It means there's some nice killer thunderstorms. I get to see that nice, pretty rainbow.
You're joking, but here's the thing: like, it's not even the rainbows. I love rainbows. Like, I mean, hell, the tattoo you have on your back of the rainbow, it's beautiful.
That's delicious.
But I mean, he tries to touch my Lucky Charm. I tell him to stay away from him.
But see, the thing is, when I agree with you, I think you as a veteran have more of a heart when it comes to the veterans than the other situation. Which I'm sure you still have a heart for that, for pride, but you want to see more exposure for the veterans and others out there, and not have a whole month for pride.
So let's just say this, Joe. What if your two kids? What if your two kids came out and they decide, hey, you know what? I'm gay.
Okay.
And you want them to be happy. No, I understand that. But when it comes to June, they're like, oh, it's Pride Month. This is my month. You're not going to support that because you don't want a month.
No. You're
not going to support your kids.
I'm going to celebrate your birthday. I'm not going to celebrate who you're sleeping with because you're my kids. I'll celebrate who you're sleeping with on their birthday. Okay?
Not even Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Oh, they get Christmas
You're so
presents
mean.
too. And they're welcome to sit at the table and have turkey and ham and everything else. Absolutely, because they're part of the family.
Like what Joe's saying is he would not go to a parade.
No.
He would not go celebrate.
It's not necessary.
That's your beliefs. It's fine. That's your. Hey, you're allowed to have your opinion. You're allowed.
And
You
that's all
fought for
I'm
it.
giving
You
my
fought for
opinion. That's all, I'm giving my opinion. Like, just as much as anyone else that agrees or disagrees with me is welcome to reach out. You know, they can email at, again, it's sales at beartracksmedia.com, you know, send or comment on our YouTube page. You know, again, like we've said before, you know, our views, like one of the things I like is no matter what we say, whether you agree or disagree with you, at the end of the day, we're not going to be upset with you. You know, as long as I'm not attacking anybody personally, I expect them not to attack me personally. You know, but you can come
Well,
up.
again, that's what happens, though.
Well, I know that's what happens.
I mean, that we talked about that earlier.
Well, it may
Before,
happen.
when we were growing up, it happened in our little community. And nowadays, it goes viral and you're attacked by millions of people. And
Yeah.
that's
Well, here's the thing.
where you go kill yourself.
Whether it goes viral and people are like, I don't like this guy for what I said, I don't give a shit. I'm still going to come on here every week and make my show.
But see, that's the sad thing is that if someone doesn't understand or respect your opinion, that's fine. They don't have to.
Yeah, don't listen.
Okay. But by attacking you, it just shows the ignorance of that person.
Agreed.
Like I'm saying, it's just an opinion. You don't have to like it or understand it, okay?
Right.
Guess what? I don't have to like you no more. Delete.
Right.
Remember? Delete.
We haven't talked any WWE. We haven't talked to any WWE on this yet. I'm
Hey,
pretty upset about that.
we got Money in the Bank this weekend. We can talk about it Sunday night.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So one of the things I know we haven't talked about this. I just read an article that the guy that had the terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado, they were going to deport his family, and a U.S. federal judge blocked that because they already had visa restrictions. They already surpassed their visa restrictions, so they are now technically in the country illegal. This guy just committed a terrorist attack. You don't think his freaking family knew? Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. He's been planning it for a year.
well,
Deport their asses.
I don't necessarily know if the family actually knew or not, because let's face it, there are things that people do that.
Oh, I know. I had a neighbor that their family didn't know he was having child pornography. Love getting that wake up call at 6 o'clock in the morning with the FBI outside my house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
That house is fucking cursed. I swear.
How about we add this to the next segment? I got to get going, boys.
You're good. All right. Appreciate you guys, Matt, Josh. Love having you guys on. It's been great conversations. Yep, give each other hugs. I appreciate it. Until next time. Oh, the dangerous dog. All right. Again, you know, I get dropping, but feel free to reach out if you guys have any suggestions on topics or anything like that. Again, sales at beartracksmedia.com. You know, also, if you're interested in joining our conversation, you're more than welcome to. Send us information and we'll send you an invite. But like I said, come on. You can give your opinion. We'll give ours. At the end of the day, we'll still respect you.
And here's the cool thing: if you have a dog, go to ChatGPT, take a picture of it, and it will show that the dog in human form. And it's pretty cool.
And if anybody wants to comment on here to poke the bear, you're more than welcome to.
It's idiocracy, but you gon' see the value and respect though when you talk with me. So come on, baby, walk with me. It ain't a topic that the crew can't touch. Share our views and our vibe. What we hide, it ain't much. This ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Share our thoughts and our views, you can't stop it. Said this ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Idiocracy, tell us what's the topic. Yeah.